Hello friends, welcome and namaskaram. In this video, we explore the bold, uncompromising move by Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose to step away from the Congress party and establish the forward bloc. Why did he break away? What was his vision for a radical nationalism? And how did this decision challenge the political status quo of the British India? Join us as we analyze the historical context of the Congress split, the ideological rift between Bose and party leadership, and the lasting impact of the forward bloc on the fight for the Indian independence. Let's go. The year was 1939. The world is on the brink of the Second Global War. But inside India, a different kind of war is brewing. A political struggle that could redefine the fight for independence. Most of us know Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose as a commander of the Azad Hind Fauj, a man of action, a man of war. But before he picked up the rifle, he picked up the pen and the podium, challenging the very establishment he helped build. Today we are talking about something which happened in 1940. We are going to deconstruct one of the most controversial and pivotal movement in the Indian freedom struggle, the split that birthed the forward bloc. Was it a betrayal of unity, or was it a necessary evolution for the revolution? So let's dive into the history of Netaji's rebellion. But friends, before that, please let us know from which city you have tuned in into this video. That will help us determine the reach of our channel. To understand the birth of the forward bloc, we have to understand the breaking point. The year was 1939. The Indian National Congress was the undisputed face of the freedom movement. Subhash Chandra Bose ji had just been re-elected as the president of the Congress at Tripuri. But this victory was bitter. It was clear that Bose's ideology, which favored an immediate, armed, struggle and unyielding push for independence, was increasingly at the odds with the mainstream leadership, particularly the faction aligned with Mahatma Gandhi ji. गांधी जी famously said, "पता है भाई, defeat is my defeat. Your defeat is my defeat." The pressure became very immense. The Congress was caught between two paths: the path of non-violent and the gradual constitutional change, and the path for radical mass mobilized resistance. Bose realized that if he stayed, he would be a figurehead with no power to act. So he did the unthinkable. He resigned. Imagine the tension. The hero of the youth, the man who stood up to the British Empire with fire in his eyes, was now an outsider in his own political home. But Bose wasn't the type to walk away from the mission. He realized that if the Congress wasn't going to lead the radical charge, he would have to build a new platform to do it himself. And so on May 3rd, in the year 1939, Subhash Chandra Bose ji founded the Forward Bloc. At first, it wasn't a separate party, it was a faction within Congress. It was sort of a pressure group, but what it stands for, why the name was forward is a big question that we will tackle now. The name was deliberate. Bose wanted to move the country forward. He wasn't interested in slow negotiations. He was a socialist at heart, deeply influenced by the global anti colonial movement of the time. He believed that the only way to break the British hold on India was through mass mobilization. He wanted Congress to adopt a policy of uncompromising anti imperialism. He wanted the working class, the farmers, and the youth to be the engine of the revolution. To his critic, he was sort of a rebel. To his followers, he was realist. Bose understood that World War II was an opportunity. He knew the British Empire was overstretched. He saw that the chaos of war was the perfect opening for an Indian uprising. The forward bloc was built to capitalize on that opening. It wasn't just a political party, it was a call to arms for the Indian consciousness. This led us to 1940, the transition from a faction to a rebellion. While mainstream Congress leadership was hesitant, keeping one foot in the door of negotiations, Bose convinced the anti-compromising conference at Ramgarh in the March of 1940. This was a moment the bridge was completely broken. At Ramgarh, Bose didn't mince his words. He called for a massive nationwide civil disobedience movement. He declared that no compromise should be made with the British, especially while they were weakened by the war in Europe. While the Congress was organizing the individual satyagrah, Bose was organizing the masses for a total blockade of the British administration. This is why it is called the rebellion. Bose did just disagree with the method. He challenged the mandate of the Congress leadership. He challenged the status quo. He essentially said, if you are afraid to lead the people to total freedom, step aside. We will do it for you. It was a bold, dangerous, and incredibly lonely path, but it was exactly the kind of path Netaji was known for. So, looking back from 2026, why does this matter? Why does the story of 1940 forward block still resonate? Because the history is rarely a straight line. It's sometimes messy, conflicted, and intense struggle of ideas. The split between Congress and the forward bloc teaches us about the nature of leadership. It highlights the eternal struggle between patience and urgency. It reminds us that sometimes to stay true to your own principles, one has to be willing to stand alone. Netaji's forward block wasn't just a footnote in history, it was also a catalyst. It forced the mainstream movement to keep the pressure on. It gave a voice to the radicals who felt that the dream of independence was being stifled by the bureaucracy. Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose ji left the Congress, but he never left the cause of India's freedom. The forward block was just one chapter in much larger, more legendary life of Netaji's. But it remains a fascinating study of conviction. It's a reminder that the political courage isn't just about winning an election, it's about defining what you stand for, even when everyone else tells you to fall in line. So, friends, what do you think? Was Netaji's decision to break away away the right move for India's freedom struggle, or would a united front have been more effective? Let me know your comments below. And friends, as you know, I read each and every comment that I receive from you. So if you learned something new about 1940 today, hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into turning points of our history. Thanks for watching, and friends, I will see you very soon in the next one.